Hello, 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 hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, good to be here with you guys. Welcome to Align. I mean, not Align. I have been doing my Align class. Welcome to Untangled. If you haven't done Align, maybe you should join us. We're on day 5 today of 21 days of sitting with ourselves. The link is down below, especially during these energies, ps.com. It's really helpful to be a part of a community. We sit together for 21 days and we just practice how to feel and be and flow and empower ourselves. Anywho, this is not Align 7.0. This is Untangled, my weekly series that I do on YouTube. Welcome, everybody. And we are on episode 84. And I would have to say that of all of the episodes, this last week and this week and the coming weeks will probably be the most intense, energetic weeks we've had on Untangled. It's really, really quite a beautiful time to be on the planet. I want to talk a little bit more about what's happening and how to feel it and go through it and experience it. But before I do that, I just want to say thank you for being here. Please hit the little thumbs up button if you are enjoying this video. If you enjoy this video, if you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you want to stay up to date on the weekly Untangles I do. What else? This is an important one. I am doing a 3-day workshop very soon, April 19th to the 21st, in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina. Powerful mountains, beautiful retreat center. There are no online tickets. We are not doing an online event. It's just in person. And these are going to be very powerful times. April is going to be a very powerful month. And so it's a beautiful opportunity to join other like-minded people that are going through the same stuff you are and really integrate it, activate it, embody it, and be together. Well, and then April 20th is probably one of the most powerful and activating days of the year. So it's the 3-day workshop that we're going to do is going to be a real activating and integrating moment, otherworldly, so to speak. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So again, it's April 19th to the 21st, and the description, the link and everything is down below to join. It's not too late. You can still get your little booty there. So highly recommended if you're feeling alone, if you're feeling like you want to get out into nature, you want to take a little trip, join me and lots of others. Okay. Where do we start? We start by first spraying our white Angelica oil that my beautiful, amazing friend Miley sent me. White Angelica. It helps the energies right now. Hi, Phil from Norway. I was sitting this morning. I've been sleeping a lot. I haven't been able to wake up like kind of really energized lately. I've been wanting to just sleep. I've been in a real cocooned, slow space, really getting clear, super clear on how I want to move forward in my life, just in general, how I want to show up, what resonates, what doesn't resonate. There's a clarity that's occurring right now for us, a clarity around how we really want to be in this world. And it's not just a clarity in terms of like surface level clarity. It is like, oh, this is the kind of job I want. And oh, these are the relationships and friendships I want. It's not like that. It's a deeper magnetic clarity. So the way I would describe it is anything that I want you to start feeling into the world in terms of magnetism, right? So when you feel pulled to something and it feels good, it feels right, it feels aligned, that's a magnetism. Okay. And that magnetism feels good, feels aligned. So, for instance, let's say that you're really feeling called, this is so surface level, but to take a bath or something, right? There's this magnetism that's calling you to take a bath. Or let's say that there's this magnetism that's calling you to um, call someone or go on a trip. You would say that's intuition or that's resonance. Okay. And yes, on one super low, super like surface level experience, it's intuition, but it's also a magnetism. It's a magnet in the quantum field that's pulling you to a different experience, a new experience. What's next experience? It's magnetic. It's energetic pulls. Okay, so you're walking around and there's like a radar going out from your body in terms of what's resonating or what's pulling you, and then you get pulled to certain things, right? Well, here's why that's so important, because when you start to become more and more clear in your life on an energetic level, a feeling state level, a pulse level, a magnetism, you'll feel things pulling you that are not for your highest good. You'll feel yourself being pulled into um, listening to things, watching things, hanging out with certain people, doing certain things, um, being in certain situations, and it's going to feel like it's not in your control. That there's a magnetism outside of you that's pulling you towards something, and you're not really resonating with it. Doesn't feel right, but there's still something externally that's pulling you. Um, and you want to pay attention to this. Social media is a beautiful example. Social media is a magnet that pulls you, and many times we don't want to be in it, right? Or there may be a relationship that you're in that's toxic, a friendship that's kind of toxic. It's not for your highest good, but there's some sort of magnetic pull that's pulling you. Okay, it's an external, and it's pulling you. You want to feel these more and more right now. This is kind of a little bit advanced, energetic way of experiencing the world, but it's necessary, and you're going to be experiencing it more and more. And what this is it's not logic. There's no story with it. It's just a pull, and you'll start to feel it more and more, and it won't feel good. It's just not feeling good. And you are right now. So many of us are starting to get clarity around how to be in the different poles. And the poles that don't feel good anymore, the poles that don't, it feels like almost like yicky, like gross, like get off me, like no, right? And so I've been getting more and more clear on that, on the poles that I don't necessarily recognize, that no longer resonate, that no longer feel good, um, and that I've been doing or playing in almost unconsciously. It's a very unconscious sort of way of being in the world. Even though we're super conscious and we're super awake, and we feel things and we understand whatever, it's another level of awakening that's happening for all of us right now, and it's not going to be around logic and the mind. It's all about feeling and being in the body. That's what this entire evolution, you can call it ascension, you can call it whatever you want, but it is an integration into a felt sense of being within a body. And so the mind is always there, because the mind creates how you view the physical reality, right? It gives you the stories and the labels. But when you start to settle back down into the body and into the driver's seat of the car, then this world becomes a completely different experience. And that is what's happening right now. There is an this evolution, okay, is not, it's not, it's in a trajectory where it's moving along at a rapid speed, and we're along for the ride. We're along for the ride. And so it's as simple as huge amounts of light continuing to be flooding the planet and the earth. Eventually we'll stop thinking that it's like this insane thing, and we'll start realizing, oh, this is just what's happening. Solar flares just happened. They've been happening since the beginning of the third dimensional physical reality, physical planet. They're just increasing, and we're just becoming more and more conscious of them. That's it. Right? And so it's this idea that these are that there's just a grander awareness that's happening on the planet, which is beautiful. But this evolution, ascension, whatever you want to call it, is simply light coming onto a planet that is heavily densed in physicality, in order to shift that physical density into more light. And more light is just more energetic. It's more energy. So it's a feeling state. That's truly, when you break it down, that's what's happening. It's that simple. And so currently, and for the next however many months that we are going to be learning how to assimilate these higher frequency light that's coming in, it's going to rattle us, right? It's rattling us, because the amount of light that is coming down is accelerating our evolution. It's quickening it. And now what you want to remember is that this is all electricity. It's all electric, right? Energy is electric. And when you have electricity, energy with dense organs, dense physical form, you have to be very, very careful. And this divine plan that's taking place right now is not an accident. It's not just like these, it's not like, oh, the sun's just doing this weird thing and it's just creating these solar flares and these all these, it's not what's happening. There is a really profound telepathic communication that is happening between the sun and the earth. They are two conscious beings inside a physical form. The earth is physical, the sun's physical, right? But if you break apart the physicality of it, it's just an energetic expression, just like you and I. So there's a communication happening. The sun's not doing anything that the earth isn't aware of, requesting, and needing. So there's this beautiful symbiotic relationship between the sun, the moon as well, and the earth. And so everything that's happening right now is not like oh my God, this is, we're in trouble, we better be careful, or some sort of other bad group is doing this. And no, no, this is all one really beautiful divine plan that's unraveling for you, and that you knew as awareness before you came down into the physical form. So this is no surprise. And the way we frame this is really important to recognize that there is no fear around any of this. There is no doomsday. There is no this shouldn't be happening. We need to start remembering that this is exactly how it goes. This is exactly what humanity needs, and it's never designed to create a disruptive, detrimental experience for humanity. That's not how. Otherwise, we would have already kind of exploded within the physical body. There would have been so much intensity of light. It's not going to happen that way, right? So there's this really delicate balance between the amount of light that is being flushed onto the planet right now by the sun and what the body can actually handle. There is no accident here. There are no accidents. Go look out in nature. Nature doesn't make accidents. This evolution isn't an accident. So everything that's happening is divinely designed beyond your comprehension because you have forgotten. It's beyond the systems that are taking control of humanity right now. It's beyond them. They can't stop it. They can try, but they cannot stop it. They can try to do all of these things to mess up the sun coming in. They can't stop it. They can mess up all of our food. They can't stop this evolution. It's not possible. Which is what is so beautiful to rest into. And there is nothing happening that is going to cause some sort of detrimental experience for the human collective. It's just not happening. Not this time. Happened millions of years ago, happened 6,000, 5,000 years ago. It's not happening this time. The frequency on the planet is too high. The frequency within the human body is too high. So we're on a trajectory now that can't stop. And so pay attention to the stories that you're buying into. Really, any fear-based story is really important to pay attention to. And what does your deeper knowledge remember about all of this? It's in your cells, it's in your DNA, it's in the light codes that are within your body. Right? And when we remember this more and more, there's a relaxation into what is actually unraveling here on the planet. And then you start to become more and more empowered because you don't give a shit what people are saying, because it's like, dude, this is the evolution. This is how it's supposed to happen. Keep coming, son. Keep blasting us. Because the more that we get blasted on a very, very, what's so beautiful about the earth and the sun's connection and collaboration together is that there is the intensity of that light is slowly turning up because the human body can hold more of that light. It's this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful way of watching this. And so there's an understanding of how delicate the human body is. And there's an understanding of how delicate the physical planet is. And there's this miraculous, awe-inspiring experience that's happening on the planet and in your own physical body as light integrates into this physical reality. So how do you and I experience it? Well, it's intense. It becomes more chaotic. It becomes more feeling. You are being rattled into seeing and feeling everything, and we'll continue to. This doesn't happen overnight. This doesn't happen in a year or 2 years or 3 years. Sometimes there can be quite quick shifts, but it's a process. It's a journey. It's very much like a frog boiling in water, and it's designed to be that way. It's not, we are not going to have some massive event from the sun that's going to catapult us into some new earth instantaneously, or some 5D planetary. It's not going to happen like that. We would like that to, maybe some of us, or maybe not, I don't know, but that's not how it's going to happen. It's not for the highest good of humanity or this planet. And so it's this slow, repetitive, compassionate, patient acclimation, assimilation, and anchoring of light into physical form. And so how are you experiencing it? Let's go back to that right now. It's a feeling state more and more. So beyond everything else, you're going to start to move from the mind into body and into heart. What people say isn't going to matter. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. You're going to start to recognize that Logic isn't going to take center stage. The body's going to take center stage. You're going to start to recognize that the intuition and your resonance is extremely important, and way more important than logic, than what people are saying. You're going to feel more than you ever have. We've been talking about this forever, but I'll just keep talking about it. You're gonna, because it's the only thing that's important, in my opinion. You'll start feeling your body more. So you'll start feeling tingling more. You'll start feeling vibration more. You'll start feeling actual energy, electricity moving through your body more. You may feel more pain in the body because it's flushing out. You're going to absolutely unequivocally feel everything, or see everything that continues to keep you in any sort of illusion. I was talking about this right before I came on Instagram. Anything that is holding you back from clarity, you're going to feel. So anything that is blocking your ability to experience this energetic reality in a clear state will come up. So if you have addictions, they're going to come up. If you have behavioral patterns that are keeping you kind of hidden, or in an unconscious state, they're going to come up. If you have limiting beliefs that are keeping you hidden meaning they are holding you back, they're keeping you kind of behind the wall, in the cave, in the unconscious. So you're aware of them, okay? You're aware of the behaviors or the addictive patterns or the thought forms, right? You're aware of it, but awareness isn't enough anymore, right? You have to start to be the lion, and you have to start to choose. You have to start to choose to let it go. Hardest thing you'll ever do is start letting go of the parts of your life that have created the fog, the illusion, the mist over the absolute clarity. And when we are in that aligned state where there is absolute clarity around how you want to be in the world, how you want to show up in the world, how you want to experience the world. Sorry, my phone's on. You will have to choose more and more what to let go of, or what to drop from your life. So in relationships, if you're in a relationship that is not for your highest good, no matter how hard you want to fight for it or how badly you want to keep it, if it is going to stop you from your soul's aligned clarity, that nudge won't go away. Doesn't mean you have to choose to let that person go, but that nudge is going to constantly be there, right? If you are in a job that is holding you back, right? It is creating somewhat of an unconscious fog. So you feel more like a robot as opposed to alive, like in the world, alive, excited, right? You will be nudged over and over again to trust, right? And to dive into or jump into life. If you are living somewhere where you know deep down it is keeping you still in this, like, when I talk about like the unconscious fog, it's like you're not fully living life, and you know this. And this is what's starting to happen as this energy is moving onto the planet. There's a deeper awareness that there is more to life than what you're experiencing. And so you're trying to navigate how to peel back what it is that is still holding you in these kind of unconscious patterns, these unconscious. And it's, again, it has everything to do with the magnets. Right? So starting to feel into the magnetism of the job or the person, or the place that you live, it's got this really intense magnetism where you're still being pulled into it because of whatever stories you're telling yourself. So for me, I'll give you an example, what's been coming up. And it's around how I work, and social media. And I use social media to do my work. And it's a real, it's like I'm playing with the devil in my experience, in my personal view and experience. It's like there's this magnetism of social media that I have to play in and participate in order to um, supposedly, this is the story, okay? The programmed story is, Lori, you have to use these outlets in order to do your service on the planet. And my soul, my aligned soul, doesn't want to. It doesn't like what it feels like right now, right? And so when you start tapping into that dissonance, you'll start to feel more and more what your soul is actually wanting to align you with. And you're not necessarily going to know how to do it. It's like, well, what am I going to do? How am I going to show up? And so you give yourself this compassion. It's not a black and white, like, oh, I need to let go of this friendship, or I need to end this relationship, or I need to quit my job, or it's not like that, right? You don't want to rattle your life more than it's already chaotically being explored. The amount of light that's coming down onto the body and onto the planet is literally rattling every way in which you have lived. Yes, it has been. And yes, it's going to continue to. So these sort of conversations that we're having aren't going to end. It's not like, oh, you made it. You've ascended. That's absolute bullshit. Or you are now done with this evolution. Nope, that's absolute bullshit as well. Anyone that tells you that, I'd stop listening. This doesn't end. This is a constant, continual evolutionary shift in consciousness that just keeps going. So there's always going to be new levels of awareness, ways of being, states of being, etc. And because this density that we are on this planet is so heavy, right? There's such a deep programming that you and I we've just touched the surface of it. Truly, we think that we are out of it. We think that we are in these like 5D states already, and oh my God, we're doing it. And then we realize, holy shit, like these things are continuing to come up, tiny little things or drastic things, and you get humbled each time. There's a humbling around it, because right when you think that you have it all together, you get pummeled again. Right? It's like this cosmic joke. The moment you think that you're all good, you will be pummeled. And that's the roller coaster ride. And that's the realizing that we know nothing. We know nothing so that we can know everything, so that we can fall deeper and deeper into this remembrance. Right? So, what we're navigating, and the way that we're going to be navigating it going forward, is really through this energetic, magnetic sort of lens, an experience where you're learning how to come back into a soul aligned place, but you're also having compassion for the part of you that realizes that it has to do life in this world right now, right? And so the greatest gift you can give yourself is the ability to feel and navigate this through that feeling state of like, wow, my magnetism is being pulled to this relationship still, or pulled to this job that I don't want to be in, meaning you know that you don't want to be in it, but you still are in it. Okay. That's the magnetism. I don't want to play with social media. I don't like it. Right. I understand the gifts of it, and I understand the beauty of it and the power of it. I think it's incredible on so many levels, but it's also, there's just a real dark energy around it as well. And so for me, it's like, okay, how do I have compassion while I am unraveling how to be in all of this so that it's for my most aligned state? This is what's happening, okay, on a very physical third dimensional plane with regards to the amount of light coming onto the planet. You see, you're changing. We have to change the way we be in the world. All the ways that we be are changing. All the ways that we do are changing, slowly or drastically, right? And most of the time it's slowly, again, like the frog boiling in the water. You don't quite realize the change, right, until you're out of it. And then you realize, oh my God, I've really shifted and changed a lot. And I didn't realize it, right? That's how we see this many times. Um, but it's not easy because it's truly quite opposite from oh, this is so annoying right now. I have to do this. When you are on a screen, it's the opposite way. Okay, I have OCD sometimes. Oh my God, this cannot happen. We have got to fix this. I haven't had OCD into my whole life until like a year. And then all of a sudden I have OCD. Like things have to be like, it's because the world is becoming more and more chaotic, which is the natural state, by the way, of the quantum field is chaos. Chaos is what this energetic world is. It's chaotic. And chaos is just energy moving all over the place. So it's not a bad thing. We're learning how to be in that chaos, right? And one of the ways that we are being pummeled into the chaos is no longer being in control. In fact, the more that you realize you're not in control, the more you realize that you're moving into these higher states of consciousness. You will be in less control. Then what happens, what you want to pay attention to is the OCD, the parts of you that are trying to control everything so that you can feel like you have some sort of control over what's happening on this planet and in your world and in your life, but you don't. And the more that we are moving through these energies, the more we're going to realize, fuck, I don't have a lot of control over anything. Right. And why have I always wanted to be in control? Because I don't trust energy. I don't trust life. I don't trust the flow state. Um, why? Well, because I never understood it. I didn't realize I was in it. I was never taught how to be in a flow state. I was never taught how to be energetic. I was never taught how to just trust that whatever's arising is exactly what needs to arise. I was never taught that. I was taught that I have to be in control. I have to stand in line. I have to focus on certain things. I have to color a certain way. I have to stay in the lines when I'm coloring. I have to speak a certain way. I have to feel emotions, but then not feel these emotions. When I go into certain places, I have to be quiet. There's specific roles that you play when you go here or when you do this, when you go. There's all these ways in which you are controlled your entire life. And so you are programmed to be in this controlled state. And when you are, it feels really good. Like you are literally nailing life. You're doing life. You're freaking a rock star. Problem is that that's not the natural state of being. And that is not how it works in this quantum field in an energetic place. And we are moving into more of energetic, and you're not in control of it. So you're going to feel more and more out of control, and you're going to watch yourself trying to be more in control. You're going to find coping mechanisms that are going to get louder and louder. Maybe there's patterns and behaviors that are getting louder and louder that you haven't done in a while, and they're increasing, right? Coping mechanisms that are starting to increase, right? Be aware of those. Be really, really aware of the coping mechanisms that you've used in the past as the intensity of this energy comes onto the planet. Because all that is a beautiful awareness that things are shifting and continuing to increase energetically in your physical body and on the planet. And you are being pummeled into a more energetic way of being. All right, over and over and over again. And it's a completely different way of being on this planet than any way that we have been in the past. So using that lens, using the lens of energy throughout your day, it's going to help you, and recognizing every interaction is energetic. Everything you think is energetic. Everything you feel is energetic. Everything is energetic. It's not mind. And that's where we're going as a collective, as a human collective. That's the evolution. That's why compassion is so important right now. Because we are going into new ways of being on the planet that we've never experienced before. We've never been this low of a vibrational state as a human collective. And so trying to shift frequencies, the body trying to shift frequencies while you're inside of it as a soul, is like, it's like quicksand. I speak about that a lot. It's like literally you're moving through quicksand. And so the fastest way through is relaxing into it. The hardest way through is resisting it. You'll get exhausted. Resisting it means you think you're in control and you're going to create how this is going to go. And eventually you'll get so exhausted by continuing to effort something that you'll relax into the natural state after you've had 100,000 temper tantrums and fits. You'll finally say, this doesn't feel right to keep fighting against, to keep resisting against. And you'll start realizing that the whole entire world, well, the first world countries, the westernized countries, have been programmed to into these ways of being and thinking where this is what creates success, this is what creates love, this is what creates freedom, this is what creates healing, this is blah blah blah, and it's all effort. There's an efforting that is counterintuitive to flow. And in my opinion, this knowingness is one of the most difficult parts that humanity is going to come across, is recognizing or being in a flow state. It's going to be a challenging one for humanity because it goes up against how humanity has believed to create success or fitting in the world, love, relationships. There's effort. You got to put effort in. You got to put effort in. You think that you got to make effort, you got to put effort. And the thing about when you're in a flow state is there's always movement. So you're always in action. There's always movement in flow. You're never lazy, sitting back going, oh, well, I'm just going to wait for something to happen. That's not the flow state. The flow state is movement, but it's effortless. It's effortless. And people have a hard time understanding this because they think that effortlessness means that you're not choosing or taking action. No, it's an energy. If you think about anything that has come into your life that has been exactly divinely designed for you, it's been effortless. Somehow you just meet someone, it was effortless. You know, a job dropped into your lap, it was effortless. A new house came into your field and you got the new house effortlessly. That is a flow state. So it's not that you're not trying to find a job or searching for, putting yourself out there in relationship or whatever, but you're in an energetic flow, which means that you're trusting. You're letting go of trying to control how things go. And that's effortlessness. And it's very difficult because in that state, you have to be out of control in a way. You have to let go of trying to control everything. And in the meantime, we have huge amounts of compassion for ourselves. We have to have compassion because these states that we're moving into, my friends, they take a while. It's practice. Again, this does not happen overnight. You can't do an ayahuasca journey and be out of what you're in, because it's the body. It's the body that is physically evolving. It's not you. It's the physical body. That's ascension. That's evolution. You're actually not ascending or evolving. You are this magnificent soul that's experiencing it. And so the more you can remember, I am encapsulated as a soul, a spirit, God, inside of a physical form. And when the physical form begins to anchor more light, it anchors the light into the form, then the soul, which is you, experiences the physical reality in new ways. The soul can only experience the physical reality based on the frequency of the physical form. That's how this works. That's how energy works. So I'm just going to throw out like an example that's not a real number, but let's just say your soul, okay, holds a vibration or frequency of 727. Okay. I don't even know where that's coming from, but your body's at a 200. It doesn't matter how high of a frequency your soul is. It's the body's vibration that is creating the physical reality that you're in, not you. So you can fight against what frequency your body's at, and you can try to force it into all of you being the egoic structure, the one that wants to be in control of this. You can force, I'm going to only feel these things. I'm going to just positive think my way through this. I'm going to make my body, do this or do that. Thank you for that super chat. Yay, flow and allowing and effortlessness. Yes, we could do all of that, right? But the body, that's why what we're in right now is so beautiful. That's why these solar flares that are going to continue and continue and continue are the greatest gifts for humanity, because they are increasing your body's frequency. You aren't. You're not doing it. What you're doing is you're being aware of it. And then you start to choose the opportunities, the options that you have available now in way to be. So you're becoming more effortless. You're moving into more of a flow state. You're given that opportunity. But there are deep, deep programs, magnetisms that are going to try to pull you back, even though your body is saying, I'm ready. I'm in more of a flow state. I don't want to be in that relationship. I don't want to be in that job. The body's vibration is saying to you, I don't want to be in that job. It doesn't resonate. I don't want to be in that relationship. It doesn't resonate. I don't want to be doing this anymore. It doesn't resonate. Resonance, right, is the soul's experience within the body. And it's based on the body's frequency. And so this is why the light's coming in. Why else is the light coming in? Why else do we have huge amounts of light coming onto the planet from the sun? These flares that are going to continue and continue and continue, that we're finally becoming aware of more and more. They've been happening for thousands of years, but now we're just becoming more and more aware of them, and they're becoming more intense. So we're becoming more and more aware of them. It's to activate the body, not your soul. Your soul doesn't get activated by the sun because it's in a higher frequency. It doesn't need the sun. The body needs the sun. The body is what has the cells and the DNA. And that's what's being activated. Your soul's good. Your soul's going to leave this body and be solid. When the soul leaves the body, it doesn't say, where's the sun? I need the sun in order to be activated. Where's the sun, or where's the light? I need it to, whatever. Mm-mm. When the soul leaves the body, it's back in its brilliance. It has freedom again. Even though there's freedom now, it doesn't realize that. So this is a hard concept. I don't think this is I don't think this is a concept that a lot of people hold, but it's what's happening. And the more and more you can unpeel, peel it back and look at it, the more you can realize, like, oh shit, kind of makes sense. It's like a tree. There's a consciousness inside the tree, but the tree grows, the tree expands based on light. It's like a plant, right? So the body is the same way. There's a consciousness inside that plant. That consciousness isn't growing. It's just experiencing itself through that physical reality, which is a plant. So our souls are just experiencing this physical reality. And the body is what is being activated right now. The body and the best way for you to go through this is to continue to remember this so that you don't beat yourself up, and that you listen to what the body wants. You listen to what the body needs. You're listening to the body, and you're trusting the body. And the body is what's going to tell you what's next. The body is going to give you that awareness of intuition. It's the body. That's why embodiment right now is so huge. Anchoring in, grounding yourself is so huge, because you're grounding the body onto the planet, into the moments. You're grounding it. Right? It's extremely, extremely important. You can't block the light that's coming in. They just can't. They're trying, but they can't. And what's most important is the lens that we use to understand that you can believe that, and then your body will hold experiences of fear. Or you can call it, well, no, it's just knowledge, and I would debate that. People will feed you stories that are encoded with fear, and they'll say, no, this is just for your knowledge. I'm not afraid. I'm just sharing knowledge. How you view what's happening in the world is how your body is going to experience it. Let your body tell you. Let your body tell you what's happening. So if you're forcing yourself to, if you're playing into these stories that hold a bunch of fear, your body's not going to like it. That's why it's so important to stay aware of what your body feels like when it's listening to things. There's a lot that we can pay attention to. And then there is a lot that we can remember. And my encouragement to you is to remember that this is a miraculous divine design, that there is a beautiful, quite perfect, literally designed way that this is unraveling. If you haven't read my book, The Divine Design, go get this book. This book will help you navigate what we're going through and what we're continuing to go through. And I encourage everybody to come back to this remembrance that there is a divine design happening here, and that no matter what stories, sensationalized stuff comes out, that there is a beautiful, absolute divine design that's unraveling for humanity that cannot be stopped. It cannot be stopped. And there will continue to be stories of how it's trying to be stopped. And you can literally just be like, I don't give a fuck. This is happening. Okay, great. So great. Perfect. More stories. These stories are going to continue because there is energy that is trying to stop it. But it's not going to be stopped. So what are you playing in? What are we playing in? Why are we playing in that? I don't understand. It's ridiculous to me. Stop. This idea that there's going to be some sort of horrific thing that's going to happen to humanity, that has been in the storyline of this evolution for a very long time. It's never happened. Not in the last 90 years. So what will unravel and pop as in our reality is something that you won't hear in the storylines for the most part. So we have to let go. Really let go. How do I find my baseline frequency? The baseline frequency is always going to change. So it's whatever is arising is your frequency. You can't find it. You feel it. How do you feel right now? How do you feel right now? How do you feel right now? It's a state of beingness that you feel, right? So especially right now, for the next couple of weeks, just feel into your body. How does your body feel? Do you feel grounded? Do you feel lightheaded or dizzy? Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel excited about life? Do you feel numbed out? Do you feel blah? Do you feel somewhat depressed? What are you feeling? And that's just giving you an idea of where the frequency of your body is buzzing at right then. And it's always changing, right? So that's why it can feel very chaotic in your world right now, because the frequency in your body what's happening is your body is trying to assimilate. It brings the light in, acclimate it, so it stirs up all the other shit, and then anchor it. And so that is going to cause all these different frequencies to be felt within the body. And you want to just let that happen. You want to let the assimilation, the acclimation, and the anchoring of light happen in the body. It's a natural process. It's what the body is doing. And you as awareness are going, what the fuck? I don't know how to do this. I don't know what feels right anymore. I don't know. Why am I having all these emotions? Why are these behaviors popping up again? What the hell? I just feel like I'm going like this, right? Yeah. Because there's a huge amount of light coming in, swirling around. That's the assimilation. The body's trying to pull it all in. Then there's an acclimation happening where the body starts to settle it, right? And it's flushing out the kind of shadowy stuff that's been stuck. And then there's an anchoring where it grounds it in. And that's what you're doing. And so there is no kind of baseline. If you try to find a baseline, you're going to think you've lost your mind. We all should be feeling a lot of we shouldn't all be, but there's a lot of different stuff happening right now in the body and in the collective field. So really just allowing all of that to be. And more than anything, you have this awareness of what's happening. You knew this before you came onto the planet. So this is no surprise. You just want to pay really close attention to what you're consuming and what you're listening to and what you're sort of following. Because the easiest way through this is in presence. The easiest way through this, in my opinion, is the less distraction. Do this. Leave your phone at home. See what happens. Try it. Start leaving your phone at home. You will be more present and more in life than anything. It's Freaky fucking Friday. It's crazy. So the more we can unplug right now from this matrix that all of us think that we're not in anymore. We're all in the matrix. We're all in it. And we're being energetically slowly pulled out of it. But it's a tricky little game. And most of us are deeply energetically integrated and ingrained in this matrix, whether we want to be or believe we are. And eventually it becomes this awareness that this humbleness of the potency of the matrix, the power of the matrix. And you will be shown over and over again what parts of the matrix you are still connected to energetically. And that's what's going to keep coming up over and over and over again. All right, you guys, I got to go. I have my Align class to do. Leave your phone at home today. See what happens. Nothing is an accident. Nothing is out of sorts in your life. There is nothing wrong with what you are going through. There is nothing wrong with what you are experiencing. There is nothing wrong with you. The more you feel unsettled and rattled and out of control and chaotic and bipolar and all of that, that is the evolution in human consciousness. In fact, I say that the more that this becomes chaotic and crazy and hands up in the air, the more you will settle into it and find this calm. There is a calm in the storm. That is ascension. That is the evolution. You are calm in a storm. And off we go. Be in the body. Pay attention to what you're feeling. Pay attention to the body. And remember the lens that this is an energetic acclimation, assimilation, anchoring. This is an energetic anchoring that your body's doing. There's nothing wrong with it. And they can't block the sun. They can try as much as they want. They're not blocking anything. And there's no doomsday that's happening on the solar eclipse. It's going to be a powerful, beautiful, miraculous moment. And so too are the days before and the days after. And if you hold that awareness, then you are assisting humanity in continuing to move through this with more ease and grace. So anchor that into your reality. Everything else is just fear mongering. That's just part of this matrix. Love you guys. See you next Tuesday. Mwah.